It's another beautiful day in Georgia for NASCAR Camping World Truck Series qualifying. Not a cloud in the sky. The sun is out again. The temperature is warming, and it is going to be a beautiful afternoon. We're going to go racing later today in both the Camping World Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, but right now it's qualifying time, and look back at those top 10 practice speeds from yesterday's final practice. Grant Enfinger, in fact, Enfinger was fastest in the first practice and fastest in the final practice. Matt Crafton dominated this race a year ago, and Christopher Bell, one of the outstanding young rookies in the field here today. It's going to be an exciting day. I tell you what, we had a terrific race last week at Daytona, but a completely different kind of challenge today here at Atlanta, and it begins with time trials right now to set the field for this evening's race. What's the big challenge today, Phil?
I think for these young drivers especially, and we saw a lot of young drivers littered on that top 10 list, is to go out there, just put your mind at ease and try to relax and go out there. And there's Ben Rhodes. He's one of those rookies here for ThorSport Racing, and go out there and just hold that thing down wide open. Now, we saw some of the guys yesterday struggle a little bit even on new tires to hold it down. We saw them have a little bit of issue off of turn 2, got a little bit tight off of 2, but there's William Byron's Liberty University Toyota. But I think these guys know in their mind that they're going to have to go out there and run this thing wide open, and there's going to be a lot of grip this morning, Michael. You just saw that with the Xfinity qualifying session.
And you don't have to look any further than that final practice rundown to see the story in 2016 here in the Camping World Truck Series. Grant Enfinger, a rookie first. The veteran Matt Crafton, two-time champion, who also has been racing here for 16 years. He's second. How do you critique that field? You got a guy that just showed up racing against a guy that's been here forever, and both of them are that fast. We've got so many young kids in the field today, but then we have this rookie that's over 30 years old that's up front. That's a great feeling. I love the stories of the Truck Series.
Yeah, we do have a tremendous mix. Of course, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip, I'm Vince Welch. Glad to have you with us. And downstairs, it's Hermie Sadler and now Caitlin Vincey. Caitlin?
Well, Vince, Tyler Reddick was 18th quickest in final practice, but he just told me you didn't have a new set of tires for that practice session. But how are you feeling about your truck as we look towards qualifying today?
I feel really good about our Cooper Standard F-150. Obviously, we had a lot of practice time yesterday and got to work on a few things that we haven't had to in the past. So I'm really excited that we were able to learn some things and work and get better. Obviously, we didn't have the speeds we would have liked to, like for the last practice. But I felt pretty good in the long run, and I'm pretty confident in our truck.
And Tyler Reddick was 5th here a year ago, guys.
Anticipate that he'll be one that you're going to have to contend with today as well. And not just today, but every race. Tyler Reddick proved last year that never count him out as he marched all the way through the season, won a couple of times, and contended for the championship.
Norm Benning will be our first truck to attempt to qualify. We've got 37 trucks here, guys. We're only going to start 32. So a lot of these guys are without any points to fall back on. Know that they have to get up on the wheel and get some speed out of these things.
And what drama we saw in qualifying at Daytona. Our buddy Jordan Anderson's got a new team, got a new team owner, has great trucks right on the edge of making the race, was able to squeak in when a faster truck of Ben Kennedy had an issue on the track. I talked to Jordan this morning. I said, you got enough speed, buddy? He said, it's going to be right on the edge. So we're going to have that same sort of drama as qualifying unfolds here at Atlanta.
Watching Norm Benning on track. Benning was one of those that tried to qualify but didn't get in at Daytona last week. Hopes to make the field here today in Atlanta. Hermie?
Well, Timothy Peters a little bit further down in line before you go, but the question is, can you run this truck wide open in this qualifying session?
Oh, for sure. You know, with the way the morning is and how cold, and the track's got a lot of grip, I know a lot of these guys will be wide open. We just, our main concern is to get our Red Horse Tundra inside that top 12. You know, we didn't have the speed initially like we wanted, but we know in race pace that we don't fall off very much, and that's what we're looking for tonight. So our goal is to sneak into the top 12, but hopefully when the green flag drops tonight, our Tundra will go straight to the front.
How about events? First laps on the racetrack today for these guys, wide open around this 1.5-mile racetrack.
Hang on, going to be fun. Hey, as the 59's getting ready to roll, that's Corbin Forrester. Take a look at the near miss yesterday. Look at him coming off pit lane, and Tyler Reddick narrowly gets through.
You could see when he hit the gas, the thing bobbled to the left for just a second. I think Forrester overcorrected, and right up in the racetrack he went. And man, So thankful the timing worked out for him to slide between those two trucks.
We speculated that maybe his steering wheel came off, you know, that has a quick release on it. Maybe he broke an axle or a drive plate, but Corbin said, no, I just got on the throttle too hard and it got away from me.
That tells you what kind of power these trucks have. You can just get on the gas a little bit too hard and the tires start spinning and out of control it goes.
The 74 of Timothy Vaines was originally scheduled to be the initial qualifier today. He's been placed on the 5-minute clock as they try to make some final adjustments and get that truck in position to qualify.
This is one of the new teams, basically. Carlos Lira, they made one start last year with this truck at Homestead. So he's one of these guys that knows he has to be in the top 27 in speed here. That means you have to beat 10 trucks.
And the 5-minute clock is serious, Vince. If it ticks all the way to 0, you don't get to go qualify. It's that simple. We saw that happen to Martin Truex down at Daytona. So any issue and you're late to qualify, you don't get to go out.
Cole Custer has been fast throughout the course of the weekend. NASCAR Camping World Truck Series qualifying from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We've had 3 trucks roll, and Timmy Hill just fastest with a 31.93.
Big pickup, too, a half a second faster than his fastest practice lap from yesterday. So good job by Timmy Hill and his guys.
We've also had Norm Benning and Corbin Forrester post times. Should also mention that the 74 of Timothy Vaines, the 50 of Ryan Ellis, and the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb have been placed on the 5-minute clock, so they need to get things moving and up to the line to make their qualifying run, or they will not get a qualifying time if that clock expires. And check in downstairs with Caitlin.
Well, Vince, Ryan Truex coming off a runner-up finish just last week in Daytona, had a top 10 truck in final practice yesterday. What do you think is going to be the key to getting it done in qualifying here today?
Hold it wide open. We were all right in qualifying trim yesterday. Our Aisin Toyota is really fast on the long run, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think we've got a top 10 truck for qualifying. You know, just got to make the top 12 and try to save our tires. Tire management is going to be huge today. This track just eats them up really quickly. So with the caution clock and having to run 20 minutes, which is around like 36, 38 laps, the winner of this race is going to save tires. So make sure we keep the tires on it and make it to the end of the race, and we'll have a good day.
Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan mentioned that the top 12, he wants to get to that second round. So we have 37 trucks here. 32 will make the field, as Phil mentioned a moment ago. The top 12 in this first round of qualifying will advance to a second round, and those 12 drivers will compete for the pole. As you look at Tommy Joe Martins.
What an amazing job Ryan Truex did last week at Daytona. Didn't know till a week or two before that event that he was even going to run that race, and came oh so close to a victory there, end up with a runner-up finish.
We talked about the big pickup we saw earlier, and it's the same. Timmy Hill picked up a half a second. It looks like Tommy Joe Martins is trending to pick up quite a lot too. This track is perfect for speed right now. We heard Truex say you got to hold her wide open to get the job done. I think that's what these guys are doing.
Martins 2/10 quicker than Timmy Hill, 31.73, so he's the fastest currently. Hermie?
Daniel Suarez, you've already had a couple laps on the racetrack today for Xfinity Series qualifying. What is the grip level of this track, and how can you make that your advantage in Truck Series qualifying?
Man, you know, the Xfinity qualifying was very early, very early. I was freezing out there. But at the same time, the racetrack had a lot of grip. Right now, the sun is coming out. The racetrack is losing some grip, but the truck is a little slower than the Xfinity car. So I think we are going to be able to have a pretty good speed anyway. But definitely, I think the first run is going to be faster than the second one. So let's see if we can learn something to gain some speed from the first one to the second one and make it for the second round.
A little bit of talk in the garage that this truck right here, number 51, could be one to watch today here at Atlanta.
He was so good yesterday in practice. Daniel Suarez double duty today, the Xfinity Series and the Camping World Truck Series in Atlanta. Tyler Young in the 0-2, fastest of the 5 qualifiers so far. Just finished up his qualifying lap, 31.52. Boy, they're really picking up speed from what we saw yesterday.
And I think we need to explain, we've already had 3 trucks that the 5-minute clock has expired.
Timothy Vanes, the 50 has expired as well, and that is Ryan Ellis and the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb. Travis Kvapil on the 5-minute clock.
Yeah, pretty extensive inspection process here, especially before qualifying with these trucks, and a lot of times if the guys aren't able to make it through there, then they'll have to go back around and start over again. And when it's your time to go, as Michael mentioned, you know, and you're not in line to go, and then they start a 5-minute clock, and when it expires, it expires. And so obviously there's been some issues in inspection here prior to qualifying. So hopefully we've got a number of trucks on pit road though already, ready to go as we continue to watch Garrett Smithley here in the 63 truck goes right to the top of the board.
He picked up a second over his time yesterday. What a performance by that 63 truck. Great job by Smithley.
And he's running the Xfinity race as well, so he's doing a little double duty. So he's been on the racetrack already.
Yeah, at least he's warmed up.
Yes.
These other guys like Jordan Anderson getting ready to row. You see the inspection process going on here. NASCAR working with the teams to try to get these trucks through.
And the 5-minute clock has expired on the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb, so she will not make a qualifying attempt. Gives us an opportunity to step downstairs with Caitlin.
Well, Vince, Cameron Haley was 9th quickest in final practice, made a mock run towards the end of practice. Overall, pretty happy with the speed in your truck. But how important is starting position at a place like Atlanta?
I think starting position, I mean, it can be important for sure. Starting up front is obviously a lot easier than starting behind, but I was talking to Crafton here before qualifying, and he started 13th last year and dominated this race. So I think there's room both ways. I'd like to start closer up front, and I think our Cabinets by Haley Tundra is able to do that, but I think we got a good race truck as well to hopefully get up there no matter where we qualify.
Thank you. Cameron Haley was 14th in this race a year ago, looking to better that number here today, guys.
And he's got all the potential in the world to do that. This kid's got a lot of talent, a great team. Glad to see Cameron Haley and that Cabinets by Haley team here in Atlanta. This is a big moment for Jordan Anderson. We had a lot of fun last year talking about his trials and tribulations, just getting to the races. Now he's here. He's got to pick up about a second if he wants to lock himself into this race over practice yesterday. Spoke to Jordan this morning. I said, have you got it? He said, it's going to be close. We don't quite have what we're looking for. It's going to be close. He said he's going to hold it wide open and do all he can. You could see the tracker's gaining on it a bit there. He's off some, though.
Yeah, he needs to pick it up a little bit here. Again, he has to beat 10 trucks. We've had 6 already attempt to qualify, and 3 actually the 5-minute clock ran out on. And he's tracking 4th right now, about 3.5 tenths off what Smithley ran.
And remember, the qualifying order goes from slowest to fastest from yesterday's practices, as Anderson posts the 4th quickest time at 31:84. So theoretically, according to the way it shook out in regards to your qualifying order, every qualifier should get faster as it relates to yesterday's practice times, and we didn't see that from Jordan Anderson.
Yeah, and that's not a good sign for this team either, because the other trucks can keep bumping him back. A few guys didn't make attempts, so he's beaten 6, Hermie, but Jordan's got his work cut out for him.
What an exciting time it was for Jordan Anderson to qualify for the Daytona last week. A lot of excitement. You're looking for some excitement this weekend too. You got the opportunity to come test at this racetrack. What did you learn, and what have you learned through this weekend that you can apply to your qualifying effort and hopefully turn it into a good solid performance today?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in the test was just getting used to how a 1.5 mile feels. This is my first time on a 1.5 mile racetrack, so the biggest thing is just hopefully get in the top 12 and be able to go to the final round and just run all the laps in the race. So we're really looking forward to it. We have a fast Tundra. Just really thankful for Liberty University being on board, and we'll see what we can do in qualifying.
How about that, Michael? First 1.5 mile racetrack. Let's just throw him out there at Atlanta and see what he can do.
And by the way, it's about 9 in the morning. Hold it wide open for me as well. What about that challenge? That's Macy's classmate. He goes to school with my daughter.
His 3rd class should be starting right about now.
Qualifying continues from Atlanta. We've had 7 trucks post a time as qualifying continues the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Garrett Smithley fastest so far to 31:41, and here's Travis Kvapil, who was originally on the 5-minute clock, was not able to get through tech on time, but they put him on the clock, did present himself in time, so he's laying down a qualifying lap here, and as you see on the tracker, currently around 3rd or 4th quickest, and now drops down.
Yeah, it went way up the hill there. You saw the tracker move all the way to the right to 6th spot. gaining a little bit of that back now down the backstretch.
And you want that tracker all the way to the left. You don't want it going to the right.
For sure, because, again, as you mentioned, we get faster as we go from practice. And right now there have been 7 trucks attempt to qualify prior to Travis, and 3 didn't make the clock. So the bumping has begun. That means that Garrett Smithley right now is in the show because he has beaten 10 trucks.
What a great morning for Garrett Smithley to do just that. And the troubles are beginning for Jordan Anderson, Caitlin. He slips another spot there.
Well, Daniel Hemrick with me now had a strong truck all throughout practices yesterday, and you told me your crew chief gave you 3 different packages to work with. Did you hit on one you liked, and what are you anticipating as we look towards qualifying?
I think we have a pretty good balance where we need to be. Like I said, working with a group of guys for the first time, trying to figure me trying to figure out kind of how they approach a weekend and how they feel like we need to be good here at Atlanta. So this place has a lot of character, and I think the second and third package we tried, I really feel like gave us a really solid idea where we need to be. So we'll see how our California Clean Power F-150 is here in a minute. Track's really cool and got a lot of grip. Everybody's talking about how cold it is, but we have the best job in the world, right? Getting in a race car 10 o'clock in the morning and go 180 mile an hour. So it's really cool to be here, and I look forward to putting on a good show.
Thank you. Daniel Hemrick coming off a top 10 effort just last week in Daytona. Vince?
Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of kids out there who'd love to be in that race truck right now.
Oh, and the weather's going to be great this weekend. It's going to warm up so come on out. If you're in this area today and tomorrow, it's going to be amazing racing.
Carlos Contreras in that 71 on track.
There's a lot of old people who'd like to be in that truck, too. Haven't done this before. It's a lot of fun, especially here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The racing is great here, and it's just a thrill ride to be out there.
Well, and I think, Phil, you brought up a great point for those that might be considering whether to come out today. I mean, it is going to be gorgeous today. And right now, just not a cloud in the sky. It's going to be up 60 degrees or so later this afternoon. And it's a doubleheader. We've got the Camping World Truck Series and the Xfinity Series back-to-back racing today in Atlanta. Qualifying continues for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Brandon Brown just posted the 3rd quickest speed, and he will be in the show later today here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. J.J. Yaley also in that 07, good enough to make the race, and he'll currently line up in the 11 trucks that have posted a time. He's currently 4th quickest in that 07.
Here's our winner from last week, Johnny Sauter, as we just got through watching Brandon Brown, who finished 4th to Johnny Sauter last week at Daytona with such a great run. But Johnny looked like he struggled a little bit in practice, but you know, they have a couple team trucks. Grant Enfinger's been fast since they unloaded. That's one of his team trucks, so I wouldn't look for Johnny to be slow.
They don't give you that big check for practice.
No, they don't. And again, with the extended practice, these guys were trying a lot of things. They don't get a whole lot of time to test, so they were using those 3.5 hours to do some testing.
Another truck that's on the 5-minute clock is the 32 of Justin Marks, so we'll keep our eye on that situation.
You're right. Johnny Sauter wasn't slow at all. Actually, he was the fastest thing we've seen all morning, and we knew that team would make adjustments compared to their teammates, and Johnny would be a story today, and he's proven now that he is.
31-28, top of the board for Johnny Sauter. Hermie?
Last year, Ben Kennedy qualified on the pole, and you guys turned that into a solid top 5 finish last year. So how does this truck this year compare to what you had here 1 year ago?
Honestly, I think it's better. We got an awesome Jacob Company's Tundra for today, so I'm really looking forward to it. I say it's better than last year, but everyone else has gotten a lot better than last year as well. So it's a tight field. I'm getting a little bit wide open and qualifying. Hope it's 6. So hopefully get to that next round and put it on the pole here today and get a good starting spot. I think if we start up front, we can stay up there. So really happy with this truck and the hard work everyone's done, and really just looking forward to get back out there.
It's Ben Kennedy.
And Austin Wayne Self in the 22, young man from Texas, 3rd quickest in his Toyota Tundra.
And that will be in the show. He's one of those guys that didn't have any points to fall back on, and he's in with that speed.
Let's take a look at our Camping World track description.
We talked about speed, and it's because of those bankings. Look, 24 degrees you can lean these trucks up against and make your way through these turns. A lot of turn here at Atlanta, Phil. 1.5 mile track, about a mile of its turns.
We've got a yellow line on the bottom, Michael. You can run with your left side. It's really down a little bit below that, and we've got a white safer bear on the outside. You can run up to there, too.
There's the 98 of Rico Abreu.
You can run anywhere in between, right? As well.
That as well, yes.
Abreu, one of the outstanding rookies in an outstanding class in a rookie field. Rico ends up 7th quickest at a 31.66. It's still early in qualifying. Much more to come from Atlanta. The 29 of Tyler Reddick on track for his qualifying run in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Atlanta Motor Speedway. While we were gone, John Hunter Nemechek, also Caleb Holman, and the 32 of Justin Marks posted qualifying times. In fact, Marks all the way to the top of the board at 31:26.
Check out Tyler Reddick here, one of the guys that we thought would have been a contender for the pole. Jumps over to 5th. Now remember, we've got a second round. The fastest 12 guys are going to rack them up and go again.
You save your tires a little bit in this first round if you think you're going to get to the top 12, or is that too risky?
I think it's just a bit too risky, especially if you're Reddick. Remember, we talked to him earlier. He said we didn't have the speed we thought we'd have in this 29 truck, so he had to go for it there.
Because I think that's questionable right now. 6, I'm not sure. I don't believe that will make the top 12.
Let's check in with Caitlin.
Well, Vince, Ben Rhodes is one of the drivers making his very first start here at Atlanta Motor Speedway with 6 quickest in final practice. How are you feeling about your truck, and what have you been able to learn throughout the course of this weekend?
Well, Atlanta's not your typical mile and a half, and I know a lot of drivers say that, and that's what I've been learning. It's a really tricky track, and I really enjoy it. It kind of plays into some of my strengths I feel like I have as a driver, but I feel like we have a really solid race truck. Qualifying, I don't know if we'll be the best. We're in the track, and I feel really good about that for the race. I think we'll be a top 10 qualifying truck for sure. If we can get up front, then that's even better.
Thank you, Ben. Ben Rhodes coming off a top 10 effort just last weekend in Daytona, Vince. On
board with Daniel Suarez, and he's the fastest. 31:25, barely getting past Justin Marks by 100th of a second.
The tricky Quado, well, that just doesn't flow off the tongue like that Pocono nickname, does it?
No.
But this place is just that. It's tricky. Certainly it's different. It's unique. I don't like when people glob it in as a mile and a half either, because this even though that is the distance, it's so different than the typical mile and a half track.
And really all the mile and a halves have their own nuances and own character, but this one certainly stands alone by itself.
Watching Timothy Peters on track, and that's 17, the Red Horse Racing truck.
Another guy that said we just didn't have the 1-lap speed I thought we needed, but our truck is really solid in the longer run. And if Timothy Peters says that with his experience and Marcus Richmond turning the wrenches, I think that that's something you can count on later today. Excuse me.
Shane Huffman.
For the whole world, it's been that guy, and now there's a new guy, and I knew that. So let's go to break, and let me gather myself, Vince.
NASCAR Camping World Truck Series qualifying from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Looking at Cameron Haley on track. While we were away, the 20 of Austin Hill posted a time of 31:54, good enough to make the show. The 81 of Ryan Truex, fastest at a 31:14. Trying to hang on to that right now as Haley's bearing down. And the 92 of Parker Kligerman, 6th quickest at a 31:31. Cameron Haley crosses the line, and he is the fastest. 31.07. And remember, the top 12 move on to the second round. Now, we've had some trucks that didn't make it through tech in time, were put on the 5-minute clock, did not get through, and were unable to make a qualifying time. And for more on that, let's check in with Hermie.
Well, Vince, one of those drivers, Jennifer Jo Cobb, I came back to the garage. Several trucks never made an attempt to qualify, including your truck. What was the issue with all these vehicles back in the garage?
When I got to the inspection line, I got my uniform, checked on my crew chief, and on our website, Vapor.com and Vapor Station Chevrolet, and my crew chief looked nervous, and he's never nervous. And I'm like, what's your problem? And he said, just trying to get through these templates. And next thing you know, you leave the inspection line, and they come all the way back around, and there are dozens and dozens of trucks just filed up to go back through. I mean, so many crew chiefs were just sweating it. Unfortunately, we didn't make it through. Right now, you walk up, Hermie, and I'm like, are we racing or not? I have no idea. You got to count on those provisionals. That's why you work so hard every single race the year prior so that we can make it. So we're just praying that we have a shot today. Great sponsors, great new team that's working so hard. So it's in God's hands, and we'll be okay with it either way.
Jennifer Jo Cobb, a waiting game now for the 10 as they wait and see who gets in on speed and if she'll have a chance to get in on a provisional. Was not able to make a qualifying attempt.
Phil, would you make her feel better? You're studying the points and where she stacks up. Do you feel like she's going to get that provisional?
I think she's going to be in, but it's certainly not for sure yet. We have a few trucks left to go, but I think she's going to be in.
We saw William Byron finish up his qualifying lap 31.26, sixth quickest for the 9 truck. And this is Ben Rhodes. We heard from him a moment ago as he was chatting with Caitlin, and it is a good one. 31.10, second quickest for Ben Rhodes out of the ThorSport camp.
How's that make a rookie feel? Yeah. Confident, ready.
Absolutely.
I tackled Atlanta first thing in the morning, got me a good solid run in.
But you look at our list of rookies, and they're all champions and really accomplished race car drivers. I mean, Ben Rhodes was a K&N East champion here 2 years ago. William Byron was a K&N champion last year. We know what Rico's history is, a 2-time Chili Bowl winner the last 2 years. And really accomplished rookies here.
And this is the gentleman that sat on pole last year here at Atlanta, Ben Kennedy. ThorSport, by the way, the 2 fastest speeds so far in this first round of qualifying with Cameron Haley and Ben Rhodes. Kennedy on track to be the quickest as the tracker drops down right at the end, and he ends up 3rd fastest in the first round.
Wow, just so tight up there, Phil. Second is a 31.10 for Rhodes, and Kennedy was able to run a 31.11. Looked like coming through the quad, he was tracking to be the fastest truck. Lost a little bit right at the line.
Another one of our talented rookies here, Cole Custer, certainly accomplished. Cole, a 2-time winner already in the series over the last 2 years. Finally turned 18 where we can run all the racetracks.
Let's listen as we go on board with Cole Custer.
Well, what a great 3 and 4 he had. Gained a couple spots through 3 and 4. We heard him not lift a bit.
4th quickest for Custer at a 31.12. Will be safely into round 2. Grant Enfinger was fastest in practice yesterday, and he's with Caitlin.
He certainly was. Very fast truck in practice, Grant. And you also earned the pole last week in Daytona. Do you think you've got a truck that can get you back-to-back poles?
I really do. So ever since we unloaded with this Alamo Chevy, it's been quick. We had to work a while on race runs. It took a while for us to get happy there. But qualifying, we've been pretty quick all week. So hopefully it holds up.
Thank you, Grant.
Spencer Gallagher on track.
How tight is the competition in the Truck Series? Vince, during this session, if you run in the 20s, you're going to make the next round. And you're going to miss it. You need a low 20, but that's I'm talking less than a 1/10 of a second will decide whether you go into the next round or not.
And Spencer Gallagher's a 17, so that's going to be good enough to push him into round 2.
Yeah, we have 5 more trucks left to go here. Timothy Peters right now is 7th. He's in. Everybody above Timothy is in as you look right side of your screen. Everybody from 1st through 7th right now are locked in. Now the job for these guys is to try to break into that top 12.
And you say locked in strictly because of the fact that we only have a few qualifiers left,
have
not
5
enough
more
to
trucks.
bump them out of the top 12.
They will make it to the second round. Looks like Daniel Hemrick is going to be one of those trucks as well. Look at all the way over to the left.
Got a 10th in the bank too. You see the difference.
Coming to the line.
Whoa.
Second quickest for Hemrick. 31.10.
All he needed to do, just get that thing in the top 12, maybe make some minor adjustments. Chad Kendrick and the guys will work on that truck a little bit. Doesn't need a whole lot, it doesn't look like.
Here's John West Townley in the 05. Showed some speed on the 1.5 miles last year. Won a race on a 1.5 miles at Las Vegas.
Home game for John West from not too far away from here in Atlanta.
Started the season with a big win down in Daytona in the ARCA race.
Had a great run going in the truck race down there, but got caught up in one of the few incidents we had.
I'm still not used to seeing Townley in the black truck. I'm
it needs
so
to be
used to
yellow.
seeing him in the yellow.
Should be in the Zaxby's yellow
yeah.
for sure.
When I leave North Carolina to drive to Atlanta, which I've done a lot recently, as soon as I get into Georgia, I find me a Zaxby's.
Stop.
Get me some chicken. I love that place. I love this family. Appreciate the fact that they believe so much in this sport. And now he's the fastest guy in town.
How about that?
That's awesome.
Great run.
And even if Zaxby's isn't the title sponsor on that particular day, I still think it should be a yellow truck. That's just me. Makes it easier for me to see, and it's all about trying to please me and make things easier up here.
This ought to make you very happy.
I can see this one very easily.
There's your darn yellow truck.
There's Matt Crafton.
And a fast one.
Yes,
too.
it is. He was so good here in this race a year ago. Dominated, led 85 laps, won by more than 8.7 seconds. I mean, you win a race by almost 9 seconds in this day and age. You have put a whooping on.
And he started 15th, so don't think that one of these guys that doesn't make this second round, as Matt Crafton just did, one of these guys outside of the top 12, don't think they can't win either.
But he showed us on lap 1 that he was serious about winning that race. I remember him being 3 wide on the apron down the back straightaway on lap 1 and went on to dominate.
Well, it certainly was an eventful finish to last week's race at Daytona for the Ford truck of Christopher Bell, the young driver for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Despite that wild ride, was able to climb from that truck, and was so thankful for that as you see Bell on track now to make his qualifying run here at Atlanta.
Pretty
His
good
first
lap
time
going
here.
Yeah, pretty good lap going too. A lot of the rookies came here a few weeks ago and did a test. Christopher was one of those and really got some invaluable experience here at this racetrack. They ran almost 400 miles in testing here, and he's gonna parlay that into the fastest lap that we've seen here this week.
30.81. And I can't say that I'm surprised because he has been very confident throughout the course of this weekend. Every time we've talked to him, he's just had that air of confidence that he really likes what they've got in that Toyota Tundra this week.
With good reason, too.
From second on back through the field, the gaps are just hundreds of seconds, but Christopher went out there and put a 13 hundredths of a second, over a tenth on the rest of the guys.
And that puts Daniel Suarez on the bubble in regards to trucks trying to make it to round 2 of qualifying, with Grant Enfinger rolling.
Our last truck, right?
Yep. Which doesn't bode well for Suarez making it into the top 12, considering Enfinger's been the fastest truck here this weekend.
Yeah, and Peters is going to get in at the 31.22 that we talked about, and all the way down in 15th, Johnny Sauter ran a 31.28.
And he's not going to get in.
He's not going to make it.
Looks like Grant's going to be comfortably in the top 12. Another half lap to go here. Let Alamo Chevy. What an amazing job that GMS has done. Last year was their basic first year in the Truck Series. They got a win with Austin Dillon. They already have a win this year with Johnny Sauter, and look to add to that.
There he is. Grant Enfinger, as you said, Phil, comfortably into round 2, second quickest at a 30.88. Well, those 12 drivers on the right-hand side of your screen, they're all going to run for the pole here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. They advanced to round 2. Can anybody beat that truck? It's the 4 of Christopher Bell. He was fastest in round 1. Our coverage of NASCAR's weekend here in Atlanta continues. It's a full day of events, including Xfinity and Camping World Truck Series races. It is all today on your home for NASCAR all season long. FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We've got the Sprint Cup final practice coming up next. Xfinity race, Truck Series race. I mean, if you're not going to make it out here like all these folks have to see a doubleheader race day today, find a comfortable spot and check us out. We're going to be here all day long on FS1.
It really doesn't get any better than this, Vince.
Beautiful sunshine.
We're going to race 4 wheels all day, and then we're going to race some 2 wheels tonight.
At just down the road, right?
Do some jumps
Atlanta
and stuff.
Georgia Dome.
Jump over humps
Supercross.
and stuff on Eastern time, too, which is nice for me because I don't have to stay up all night.
These drivers are disappointed. Going home, failing to make the field. Remember, we had 37 trucks here for 32 spots.
It's just so tough. So start a new team, get all the parts and pieces in the right place, and go out there and have some time to practice on one day and then put it all together, get through inspection. Phil, you know how hard all this is, and unfortunately, 5 of our racers aren't going to be able to compete today.
One of the drivers that is going to be in the field is Rico Abreu, and he's standing by with Hermie.
Well, Vince, he's a little disappointed with his qualifying. It seems like 27th, but you could put some of that dirt track experience today and pass at this racetrack. But what did your truck need to be better at when they dropped the green flag?
You know, definitely just more speed in the center. We're on the splitter pretty hard, so it's tough to justify getting it, you know, close enough where it's fast and then not bumping off of it. And it's just tough. It's a fine line, and you know, I as a driver have to understand how it all works. You know, we struggled all day yesterday in practice trying to get it off the splitter, and then right there the last 5 minutes we clicked off some good laps and thought we'd be okay today, but I guess we got our work cut out.
You've got some great teammates, including Matt Crafton, have they given you any advice yet as far as race conditions, what you need to do from the driver's seat to make up for maybe a truck that is not handling perfectly?
Yeah, no, our trucks are really close, so it's good to all communicate, and I've been working with Crafton a lot, just here, especially here because he's got so much experience and a lot of success. So hopefully our Safelite All Glass Toyota Tundra will be fast when it comes race time, and maybe we get that high side going.
Rico's taking in a lot of information, Vince, and look for him to make his way to the front when they drop the green flag.
I think it's interesting on a couple of different occasions there he used the word tough to describe this track. That is for sure. And then also the tough part about just being a rookie here for the first time, trying to adapt and conquer this tough track.
And remember, he only has a year of pavement racing under his belt. Came from the open wheel ranks of dirt and did a great job in the K&N East Series. It was the most popular driver, got to victory lane, but this is another beast here.
Michael, is there a place that could be any more difficult for a first-time driver when they've rolled into a track for the initial time?
No, but when the race is over today, he's going to say that was as much fun as he's ever had on pavement, because it's going to remind him a lot of dirt by the time the checker flag falls today. That truck will be sideways. They'll be hanging on.
Take a look at the drivers that did not make the second round of our qualifying.
A lot of good potential winners here with Suarez. He could win 2 races today. Justin Marks, William Byron, his first time here. Last week's winner, Johnny Sauter. 3rd place finisher last week, Parker Kligerman, in 17th.
How about Tyler Reddick, who almost won the championship a year ago? I mean, there's some pretty good names and teams on that list of drivers not going to round 2 of qualifying.
Brandon Brown had a top 5 finish at Daytona. What a great job by that team. He's going to race today. Caleb Holman, so strong at Bristol last year. Rico trying to figure all this stuff out.
And there is Jennifer Jo Cobb. We speculated up here in the booth when Hermie was interviewing her that she was going to be in, but we didn't want to jump out there and say it and something happened, but she is in this field.
Wasn't able to make a qualifying attempt as was placed on the 5-minute clock. Couldn't get through tech in time. As Timothy Baines was in the same situation, makes the show. There's a good look at Daniel Hemrick inside his office. Second round next. To that music and the show, so the combination is a winner. It's 100,000 cameras, all from the Daytona 500 a week ago, and you're going to see that show tonight immediately following our Truck Series race here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. All your videos and pictures that you sent in from your Daytona 500 experience, all in a television show. It's going to be great.
My camera was on Denny Hamlin on that last lap.
And that was very smart of you,
yes,
by the way. Caitlin?
Well, Matt Crafton won this race a year ago, had a strong truck in this first round of qualifying. What do you think you got left for this next round?
I hope I think we've got a little bit more left, but my goodness, that Christopher laid down laps, so hopefully this Menards Toyota Tundra will have just a little bit more, and maybe Christopher will slow down, and maybe we can catch him. But all in all, I mean, qualifying is not going to pay very much, but at the end of the day, we want this Menards Toyota Tundra to be up front in victory lane.
Thank you, Matt. Matt, another driver coming off a top 10 run just last week in Daytona, Vince.
Well, he said it, qualifying doesn't pay much, but he wants to be in victory lane, and that's exactly the way it worked out last year. He didn't make the second round of qualifying a year ago, was disappointed, but took it out on the field in the race. He dominated.
And he started very early, too, because he went for the front immediately. What an amazing truck he had. We knew in practice that thing was on rails. He just never moved his hands, Michael. Remember from his onboard?
He was taking it places no one else was going, too, and that makes your job a lot easier when you can maneuver the traffic like he was doing.
Crafton hopes to go back-to-back, taking it to the winner's circle again. But first, he's got round 2 of qualifying, and that'll be next. Second round of qualifying. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Atlanta. 37 trucks on the entry list. 32 have made the show, and now 12 will shoot out for pole position in the first 6 rows of the race later today.
And you said it right, Vince. Shootout. You've got to leave pit road in a hurry. You could see Timothy Peters. He's making this track as big as he can. He went high when he got into turn 1 and 2 to get his momentum up. He carried the same line through 3 and 4, hoping that he gets that Toyota humming right when he comes across the start-finish line.
And remember, they start from the 12th fastest, right up 11th, 10th, 9th, all the way up to the first fastest in round 1.
He ran a 31.22 his first round. We saw Kyle Busch actually run his fastest lap during Xfinity qualifying, you guys did, on the 3rd round.
You can see there Peters now making the track short as he possibly can, trying to cut every precious hundredth of a second off that lap time he can.
31:20, so a couple of hundreds faster than his first run.
Right direction.
So theoretically, if it would all play out perfectly, you'd see every truck get faster. We'll see if that happens. Typically it doesn't. Somebody in there is a fly in the ointment, and we'll see if
that wouldn't work out very well for Timothy Peters at all.
No.
I mean, perfectly for you, Vince, is one thing, but Timothy's like, no, I don't want anyone to beat me. But it looks like right now Spencer Gallagher's tracking to do just that. Just a couple of hundredths ahead of Peters, though, halfway through his lap.
Yeah, Spencer was down at 31:17.
Where is the spot we typically see somebody maybe lose a little time?
You know, I think it's just going to be in 3 and 4 coming to the checker. The tires are getting progressively a little bit older and a little bit hotter. So these trucks run wide open around this track, and heard reports from practice yesterday they could run repeated laps wide open, so it shouldn't be that much of a challenge. But if the thing picks up any kind of a push at all, the front end loses grip, or the back end slides sideways, that will really kill your momentum and hurt your lap time.
Spencer Gallagher just a little bit quicker than Timothy Peters, and that puts the 81 of Ryan Truex next in line.
You see, Truex was a little bit up off the bottom. I think the truck maybe bottomed out or bounced up a bit, and it hurt him somewhat, but he's able to cling on to a couple of 300ths ahead of our fastest truck of Gallagher.
What another good run here. What a way to back up that great runner-up finish from Daytona last week.
He was able to really pick up the ground off turn 4 as well, all the way down to a 31:07.
It's about 700ths quicker than his first run in the initial round. And each one, Peters, Gallagher, and Truex, have each picked up a little bit more
than the other one did. Yeah, exactly.
Look at that tape on the windshield. You can see it there on Cole Custer's truck. It's just really tough to see here at Atlanta with the way the angle the sun hits these bank turns. So those guys have all that tape on the windshield to help them with their vision.
Especially this afternoon when we start this race around 4:30. And the thing is, you have to put that tape there now, because these trucks will be impounded. So what you want this afternoon, you're going to have to put there now. And Cole Custer, I know what he wants, a fast truck, and it looks like he has it.
At a 31:12 in the first round. Let's see what kind of pickup he gets. It's enough. 31:03, fastest of the 4 to go.
You know, these crew chiefs can make adjustments to these trucks, and you say, well, how can they adjust? They went out there and ran wide open. How can they adjust it? Well, you can run wide open here and maybe still be a little bit tight or a little bit too free. They can work on that, still run wide open, and pick up almost a 1/10 of a second like Cole Custer did.
Last year's pole winner, Ben Kennedy. Different kind of qualifying format last year. We should point out that was group qualifying, not the single truck qualifying that we're seeing today.
Ben Kennedy is really happy with the way this number 11 Toyota is running. He says it's really fast in the long run, a better truck than he had a year ago, tracking just a 1/10 of a second off of our fastest truck. So he's got speed. He's right in the ballpark.
Third quickest for Ben Kennedy, 31:08. Ran a 31:11 the first time, so a little bit of a pickup, but not enough to take him to the top.
So far, every single truck has run faster than they did in the first round.
And Ben Rhodes hopes that stays true.
He's wandering up the turn a little bit there. You can see the tracker's not cooperating with him. I think you know I talked, Vince, that the toughest place to handle this track is turns 3 and 4 here. So you can gain ground there too if your truck does exactly what you want it to. Since it's so challenging, you can pick up some speed down there, and it looks like maybe Ben's able to do just that.
We saw a few guys have some issues off of turn 2, maybe not being able to keep that front end down. Looked like really Ben Rhodes really improved over in 3 and 4. Looked like he struggled a little bit down in 1 and 2, but all the way up to second.
That's our 4th truck that's running the 31.0 second bracket. It's just separated by those precious hundreds of seconds. And that's why we're going to see such a great race this afternoon. These trucks are so competitive. You never know who's going to hit that right setup and be able to drive to the front, just like Matt Crafton did a year ago.
Cole Custer, good look at him as he's getting ready to climb out of his truck. He is the fastest so far. Daniel Hemrick in the 19 out of the Brad Keselowski Racing stable.
We did a little thing on the hub a few weeks ago, and you put him in one of your top 4 guys to race for this championship.
And there's a couple of reasons why I strongly feel that way still. I love listening to Daniel talk about his relationship with his crew chief, Chad Kendrick. They're just on the same page. They talk about every detail of this truck. He said when practice was over yesterday, he said, I can't wait to get with Chad tonight and figure out how we're going to tune on our truck. So this is a great combo, I think. Brad Keselowski's providing them with all the parts and pieces it's going to take to be champion. He's going to be a contender all year long. And it looks like he's going to run in the O's too, just like everyone else.
Hemrick, 31.08, 4th quickest. Chad Kendrick saying that Daniel is just so analytical about everything in regards to the truck and the way it handles, and he's worked on his own vehicles for so much that he knows it. He knows what it needs, what it wants, what he needs.
I think it's going to be a great combination.
Cameron Haley in the 13. Drives for the 4 truck effort at ThorSport.
Do you think, Dan, you think Cameron thought it was cold this morning, or is he fine?
Oh, from Calgary, Alberta. Probably thought it was warm.
What are y'all talking about? It's nice.
Out there in his shirt sleeves.
Yeah,
absolutely. The rest of us all bundled up. Caitlin's got a hat on.
Yeah, pretty fast lap here for Cameron Haley.
To the top, 31.01.
All right, here's a report from the pits. If you're the fastest, you ran a 31.0, and if you're 6, you ran a 31.0. So if your crew chief says great lap 31.0,
which O?
We're going to need to know more details to find out just how great that lap is.
Might be 31 point. You might have a couple of zeros on the end of that if you're going to be the quickest.
This was going to be down below that 31.0.
Yeah, this is going to have a 30 point something with it.
It may even be the 80s. Let's see how we can get through turns 3 and 4. It looks like the tracker's going in the right direction. Look right side of that.
Wow.
Tracker. 10th and a half.
What a lap.
Haley right here.
Matt Crafton, impressive 30.83. Wow.
13/100ths of a second faster than he ran in round number 1. You think Junior Joyner tuned that truck up a little bit for him?
Almost 2/10 faster than the field so far. But we got some tough trucks coming, a couple of them.
Well, the fastest in round 1 was Christopher Bell. He ran a 30.81. So if he can improve upon that, he's going to be even faster than the impressive lap that Crafton put up. As we look at John West Townley, he was a 30.94 first time around.
He's not far off Crafton right now. You'll see 1/100th of a second difference as he exits turn 4.
Not quite enough. Missed it by 2/100ths of a second. A 30.85 for Townley. Crafton still quickest.
Nonetheless, a great lap though for John West.
He's just about the length of Denny Hamlin's FedEx Toyota over Martin Truex Toyota at Daytona. That's how much the pole Matt has right now, just a few inches.
Only got a couple of more qualifiers remaining. Grant Enfinger and Christopher Bell. Enfinger was fastest in 2 of the 3 practice sessions we had yesterday.
I love that story. Rookie coming here and showing everybody his colors during practice, and now backing it up in qualifying.
Tip of the cap to Jeff Stankiewicz, Grant Enfinger's crew chief. He brought a real nice truck here this weekend.
And how do you, like, right, I was going to say, was second fastest, fitting in between the speed that Crafton and Townley run. That's so close. Now he's just bouncing around from 1st to 3rd. This is for all the marbles. Can he get it done?
Going to be close. Enfinger 3rd quickest. Crafton just has 1 more truck to beat, and that is the driver of the fastest truck in session number 1. It belongs to Christopher Bell, and here he is.
And the fastest of the weekend. His lap in round 1 was the fastest lap that we've seen by anybody.
And everybody's, for the most part, has picked up a little bit from round 1 to round 2, and if Bell does that, he's going to win pole. But
look how close it is.
Crafton's like, no, please, no. I want this pole.
Boy, it's too close to call. Within a couple hundredths of a second right now. Going the wrong direction. It looks like Crafton may have it.
Oh, Bell, third quickest. Matt Crafton is your pole winner.
Great job by Junior Joyner and that team. Solid effort. Matt Crafton making a statement right here at Atlanta. You're going to have to beat me if you want to win this championship.
Crafton, his 12th career pole. His last pole, the Homestead race season finale a year ago in this very truck, and we know what he ended up doing that particular race. He took that pole winning truck to victory lane. Can he do it again today? Matt Crafton, pole winner at Atlanta.
Strapping into their trucks as we're set to go for the first time since 2011 with back-to-back events.
We are underway here in Atlanta. Down the back straightaway. They're stacked up almost 4 wide just outside the top 10. They waste little time. Matt Crafton is on a mission. And the statement has been made. Matt Crafton, Toyota and Thor Sports win at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I need that motor from Martinsville. Just park it and get out like a gentleman. It's caused a burnout.
Matt Crafton put a whooping on him last year. Can he do it again later today? Well, he's going to be starting from pole position this afternoon. I like his odds. Matt Crafton, the pole winner. John West Townley, a front row start.
Yeah, great start for John West, but what a strong field we have here. You see the front row here, and we've got guys capable of winning this race starting back outside the top 20.
Matt Crafton, his 12th career pole, and Hermie chatted with him.
All right, Matt, you've been playing chicken with us all weekend. You get your pole here in Atlanta. Started 13th last year and dominated. Start P1 today.
Yeah, Spin Arch Toyota Tundra's good. I mean, we didn't really work on qualifying runs, didn't work on any of that stuff yesterday. We just worked on long runs. I mean, last practice we ran a 24-lap run and 26-lap run. We had no idea what it was going to do, to be totally honest. And to go out there and run what we did right there, I'm pretty happy with it. And said at the end of the day, I was pretty happy with this Spin Arch Toyota Tundra, how the speed was on the long run. So today's a new day. We'll see how it is this afternoon.
Obviously, a great run here last year. If you had enough laps in this truck to compare it maybe with last year's truck as far as drivability and race conditions?
I think it's just as good, to be totally honest. I'm sure the field, I mean, I'm sure they've made some improvements with their stuff too. And like I said, I think we'll be all right. I hope we will at least.
That's Matt Crafton. He starts on pole at Atlanta.
And John West Townley also starting on the front row, has 2 truck starts here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. How do you think that experience might help you as we look towards the race this evening?
I mean, I think it will. But you know, this is a really tough racetrack. I mean, it's really worn out, and it's all about tire management here. But I think we got a pretty good racing truck. I mean, we're hurting a little bit in race trim yesterday. Hopefully it holds out. But I mean, if it does, which I think it will, we made some quality changes. I think it will have us a pretty good truck today. By the way, really excited to have ESP on the truck. They do great work for kids in Watkinsville. But yeah, we'll have to go out and hopefully we can give them a good show today.
Thank you. John West Townley, one of the hometown guys, starting P2 for today's race. Vince?
Yeah, and had a good run last year. Finished 12th here in this race a year ago. But, boy, I think they're all going to be chasing that 88 of Matt Crafton. I mean, he is so good on the mile-and-a-halfs. Won 5 times on the mile-and-a-half tracks a year ago.
Yeah, we had 9 mile-and-a-half races last year, and Matt Crafton had the most points of anybody over those 9 races. Eric Jones, who won the championship, had 39 less points on the mile-and-a-halfs last year than Matt Crafton did.
And when you get to the chase this year, you better be good on those mile-and-a-halfs. There's 3 of them.
One in every segment.
That's exactly right. So that's going to be the key to the championship this year.
Christopher Bell will start in row 2. He was 3rd quickest in qualifying, and with Hermie.
Well, Christopher Bell was fastest in first session, 3rd fastest in the money session. Are you satisfied with that qualifying effort?
It's kind of disappointing, you know, after you go quick time the first set and didn't back it up the second set, but everyone else picked up and we slowed down a little bit. So I think we got a really good race truck, and I'm looking forward to the race.
What have you heard, or what are you expecting this racetrack to do in race conditions? Sun's out, a little bit warmer than we've had this weekend.
Yeah, I think my JBL Tundra is going to be really good. Thankfully, we were able to come over here and test a couple weeks ago. So I did my research and watched the race last year, and it seemed like the bottom is the place to be. But found a little bit of speed up there in the top for practice, so we'll see if we can move around here in the race.
That's Christopher Bell. He'll start third.
Yeah, he talked about being on the bottom, but maybe the top. And the good thing about Atlanta is you can be a lot of different places and make it work, right?
Might as well try the middle too.
That's what we'll see, but only it'll be trucks. They're going to be 3 wide and spread out all over this racetrack. And up at the front, there's parity up here, Vince. The Chevys and the Toyotas split the top 6 positions, and then Daniel Hemrick back in 9th in his Ford. We know he's going to be strong as well, so got a great manufacturers battle here in the Truck Series as well.
And after seeing Christopher Bell roll that Toyota Tundra 10, 11, 12, 13 times at Daytona at the end of that race, just glad to see him back in it, right? Hey, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Your Grateful Nation and its dedication to supporting Special Forces veterans as they transition into their next successful career. Visit foxsportsupports.com to learn more.